Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to activate the flow state. So when you're wanting to move into a new timeline and you're really set on seeing your desires manifest, you can open a rift in time and space where you can activate the life you see in your imagination. And I'll also teach you how to use the mind in a way that complements this change and not gets in the way of it. Okay? Now, if you're back on this channel or if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing, because I take interdimensional knowledge and break it down in a way that your mind can digest it so you can better navigate your own system and see your potential expressed in this world. Okay? So to jump right into it, it's really understanding quantum jumping from a more fluid manner. Okay? So first off, I want you to think of energy as this intelligent force which continually reproduces on itself. So if you make a choice that is different from your usual life and what has happened in the past, your third eye opens up a timeline in the higher dimensions where that choice is a starting point for a different story, for a different version of life. So first you have to explain to your mind that reality works in two ways. You experience something from your higher dimensional consciousness and your lower dimensional consciousness. Higher and lower is not an indication of better or worse. And from the higher dimensional consciousness, you're not summoning energy from scratch when you want to manifest something. You are aligning with an energy that already exists in the universe because you have felt it and seen it in your consciousness, which means it exists in some realm. Everything is vibration, right? Everything is information. So start to remind yourself as you're moving through your day that everything you're experiencing in the external world is a projection of the vibration inside of you, and that this is not permanent. You're a soul that is getting to have the experience as a human with a mind and emotions, but you are not those things. Know that how you are now is just an accumulation of the experiences that have happened in your past and how you emotionally connected to those experiences, which gave your mind an understanding that a particular area of life will give you a certain energy. They're just wirings that you may not have been fully aware of. So when you position yourself like that, and you realize that this is just a story in who you are as a soul and not the experience that the soul is getting to have, and you can choose a different experience, your mind becomes more elastic. It starts to let go of the idea that even though from your lower dimensional consciousness, you're seeing everything as solid so your five senses can truly tap into it, that's how you're able to experience reality from one dimension, which is your mind and your body and your identity. Your higher self sees it as information that it's just associating with. But from that lower dimensional consciousness, because it's of the 3D and that's a dimension that runs off of slower energy waves, you're gonna feel everything is solid because that's how you're getting to have the interaction with the things you're manifesting. But when you feel stuck and you're asking yourself, how can I manifest? You instantly pivot to your higher self and you recognize that everything is solid on a third dimension so you can experience it, but everything is vibration in the higher dimensions. So that gets you in a mode where you're really tapping into the feminine nature within and you're in a more receptive place, okay? Now, first you have to decide what story you're wanting to move into. You're an author that also gets to be a character, the main character in the story that you're writing. And these stories are interchangeable. It's almost like you're an actor or actress and you're getting to choose different roles. When you can think of reality like that, you'll have an easier time moving in between different parallel realities, which is just a different life trajectory, a different story, a different pattern of information. And if you look at your past, whenever you've experienced particular themes during your life where you had a similar way of viewing yourself in the world, there was a particular trauma or shadow that you were healing or experience that you were, pushing towards and trying to summon the courage to, conquer it. You'll notice there are months or years where that's a common theme. Those are timelines. So you can look at it as just when you have different themes going on in life. So that gets your brain kind of understanding that you have already shifted timelines at some point in your life, especially when you have experienced a huge change. This can allow your brain, which is just a program of the past, to kind of be more submissive to your soul. So when you see that new reality with your higher dimensional self, you can align with it more. And what you do is with your masculine energy, you create a collection of habits, actions, and beliefs that can really allow you to exert the action forward that will lead to what you're wanting to manifest, right? It's the decision, it's the structure, it's knowing if I do this, this will happen. But then from the feminine, I want you to imagine that your body is a huge net and you are gently, beautifully swimming and existing in the universe. And what has happened is you have just aligned with a certain energy. Energy has passed by you and you have associated with it. And then that's what you believed you were. And now you may find that there is this resistance of letting it go. But if you just think of yourself as like a beautiful whale or dolphin in the ocean and there is fish and plankton just passing by, and sometimes what is in our environment can attach to us. Sometimes that whale or dolphin in the ocean has certain smaller animals brush up against it or different types of plants. So if you view it like that your soul's been drifting through the universe, having certain reincarnations, and there has just been energy that has been magnetized towards certain reincarnations, including the one you're in now, then you realize that all the big things you're healing and all the desires you're expanding upon that feel very intense could be that, intense because this energy has existed in different reincarnations. And as you have continually reincarnated as a soul, you have brought what you've been healing with you, or the desire you've been expanding upon, and every reincarnation you've been adding to it and healing it more. So once you kind of realize that if you're feeling that there is a lot of thickness in your ecosystem when you're trying to manifest, there is something heavier that is a representation of something going on inside of you, a way that you have to heal in yourself, a way that you have to view the world or your capabilities as a soul in a human body, then you're treating the root, which then affects the plant, which is what you're manifesting. You ultimately will flow through everything you create in this world. So when you feel that heaviness and you're creating and manifesting and you see this new version of life and you know you can align with the information in it, release control by telling the mind that it's going to be able to see better results if it gives power to your soul. Your mind is stuck in the past programming. Your soul knows better. So you have to almost act like that you're in sales and you have to convince the mind that the soul is where you need to place your trust in. That's what I meant by selling in that way. And so your mind in that moment can really have the inertia to let go, and you're moving into that flow, and the version of life you see, you can imagine that the energy is already there. The parallel reality of what your life would look like already exists in those higher dimensions. So then what you can do is realize reality is fluid, and because you're the soul and not the thoughts or emotions or experiences, you're just getting to have them. You can move into different experiences, thoughts, and emotions that are connected to where you're going. So see the version of life you're trying to create as a stream of water, right? A storyline. And once you plug into it and you trust that you're in it, you will get the experiences, the thoughts, the emotions, the people you have to meet. All the details will come together in a exact preordained order based on how you move through that timeline and how you get to where you want to go. But you want to tell your mind that, hey, now I've decided I'm going here. Everything in my day, everything that happens to me is going to get me closer to where I want to go. I'm already aligned with everything, right? So when you remind yourself of that, things can become much more fluid. And what can help, and I've mentioned this to a lot of people, is study water, either still water or running water. And it could be inside your house or outside in nature. But look at it. Watch how the element of water is flexible and becomes any shape that it needs to be. That way, when you're trying to move into a new version of life, you can imagine that your cells and your DNA is shifting into that information, and your body is part of that new timeline. You're living it. It's real, right? And you can feel as if your brain is becoming like water, where it's adapting to this new timeline, and you're having the thoughts and beliefs and personality traits you need to match where you're going. So the fluid nature is what's going to get you to understand that reality is solid from the third dimension, so you can experience it. But from the fifth dimension or higher, which is the metaphysical realm, and how your imagination can tap into the vibration behind what you see in the physical dimension. You'll have that ease of knowing you just have to reprogram how you believe reality works. You just have to understand that reality is simply a canvas for whatever you're choosing to align with inside of yourself. And then you let go. You know that this manifestation is not going to determine your happiness or fulfillment. You don't put so much weight into your manifestation, because then you're sending what you're wanting to create desperate energy. You're sending it energy of lack, of uncertainty, of non-trust. You find a way to be happy with whatever you have in this moment, and all the beautiful information you can experience through your five senses, and the times where you navigate your internal world like an adventurer. That's the inner child in the present moment. And everything else you allow to come in moment by moment. But you live for the now. You live for today. You find a way to feel happy and safe today, and that's where your work starts. Okay? Now, I definitely enjoyed talking about quantum jumping, because we really have more power over what we get to experience, and if there's a way to leverage our soul in the process, that's what we should do. And I want to tell you guys that if you're a starseed, if you're someone that feels that there is a metaphysical power inside of you that you may not fully understand, but you know you have to go towards, I want you to entertain the idea that maybe spiritual knowledge is changing. Maybe all the beautiful truths and spiritual philosophies that came in the past were exactly what the collective needed at that time, but now our needs are different. The collective has more star seeds. We need to understand, how do we truly make more changes in the physical realm through our spiritual power and energy? And so I teach interdimensional skills in my monthly workshops, where I examine how can you as a starseed understand how to navigate the metaphysical realm and change energy in it. Because the information in that dimension of what you don't see directly flows into the third dimension, where you're getting to have those experiences. So the interdimensional skills that I've channeled are kind of unique actions you can perform in the quantum field that are simple enough to where your mind understands it and your soul feels refreshing to it. And that way you can make it more simple, the idea of changing reality. And when a problem happens or a situation occurs, using your interdimensional skills to change energy in the metaphysical realm in a structured way that your mind can understand, to fully get the results you want, to have Earth be a playground for you. So please do not hesitate if you feel called to this, because that means that you're in alignment with the new data and technology and information I'm bringing into the collective. Send me an email if you're interested, and we can jump on a phone call and I can tell you more about it. Also, I have a free quiz in the description that will give you an idea of the interdimensional skills you have as a starseed. And whatever you're going through, I can be there to help. If you need more one-on-one counseling, I do coaching too. So thank you guys for being here. Definitely comment down below what you've experienced with the flow state and quantum jumping. I'm here to help. Hope you guys have an amazing, powerful day. Okay, bye.